long term and to explain to the customers as well to apply those scientific solutions, even though, I mean, they invest a lot of money even before they're building, so for them, they're already losing the money, so how to convince them to look a bit more long-term as well. Thank you.
Would like to have a go with that?
I can start. I can totally relate to that. I was asked how much carbon or how much do you produce per square meter per day? And my immediate answer in the beginning was, okay, I need to set up an experiment and it depends on the sun, it depends on the nutrients, it depends on this and that. And okay, if you give me like 3 years and this amount of money and I need to replicate it 10 times and then I need to repeat the experiment. And then the industry says, what? We need a number. Okay, give us a number. No, I won't. And then give us a number. Okay, I give you a number. But then the factory is maybe 50% wrong. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, what? So we need to meet, talk to each other, get outside our comfort zones from both sides. And I mean, it was particularly hard for me as a scientist to step out. I don't know, your feelings about this?
And I guess
water matters to me because I think in this day and age, clean fresh water has been very scarce. So more than ever, I think looking for sustainable ways to maintain fresh water and help save our oceans has been very important.
I'm very much privileged to be part of this seminar and workshop, and I've learned a lot today. But yes, water matters to me because I come from a country where we have issues with water. First of all, it affects the mortality rate of the children, it affects the mortality rate of the mothers, and it affects the mortality rate of the entire nation. And there is need for water in Kenya. And we do have water, but we do not have the right technology in place to be able to put in the right infrastructure for the citizens. Also, you get a lot of children in areas like northern Kenya, which is in Turkana, where children are on the road asking you for water and not asking you for food or money. So we need to have an opportunity from the developing economies and see how we can be able to alleviate this situation. At the moment, I think it is a situation that's impacting in the entire emerging economy countries. And it would be really good to put it as a priority because water is life. We all need water. And it comes to us free, but we do not have the technology to put the right infrastructure to be able to benefit from this precious element. So I urge the entire world to try and see how best we can resolve this problem with very little resources and make sure that it's sustainable. And today I attended the Solvaten water presentation, which I think would be very good for the emerging economies where the economy performance is not good enough for the local citizens to be able to have returns on investment, to be able to invest well on what they most need. So equipment like Solvaten becomes a priority to Africa.
Indonesia, and thankfully when I grew up in my home country, we had enough water. Sometimes there are times where we had water supply cut-offs, and during those times it made us realize that we need to conserve whatever water we have left, and we need to use water wisely. Personally, I think that water is important for our health, and since most of our organs require water to function properly, we need water for hygiene and many other uses as well. So, yeah.
I'm from Italy, and water matters to me because since my childhood I've been a swimmer. So So I used to be on a synchronized swimming team, and so just swimming in my spare time, if it's outside or inside. Now in my biomedicine studies, I realized how much water is important in a global health perspective. This summer I volunteered in India and rural areas where water is really a scarce resource, and we really need to take into account that it's a right to everyone to have water. So that's why it matters to me.
I think it's a smart
Those of you who've been to the Nobel banquet will know that when you arrive there, on the table in front of you is a glass of champagne, which you are not allowed to touch until you're given permission to do so by the chairman of the Nobel Foundation. Same principle applies here, but in this case, permission will be given by our next guest, Marina Abramovich.
Okay, you had lunch, and now is my time, my turn. Water. We so much heard about water this morning, but we want to go farther than just talking about, but also experiencing in a kind of big group way. Many years ago, there's a Japanese scientist who took 2 glasses of water and experimented with them. 1 glass of water, they drink with extreme anger and frustration. And second glass of water, they drink tranquility with love and compassion. Then leftover drops of the water they analyze on the telescope. And they find out that the first glass of water, the molecules was completely disturbed and kind of uneven. And the second glass of water was complete in harmony and symmetrical. So 1 glass of water was poison, another one was healing and therapeutic. So it's really interesting how our mind can produce so many different things. It can, whatever you put in your mind and you put it out, you actually get it back. So it's really important how we can change consciousness. So now I would like you to actually bring this together, glass of water, the way I'm going to tell you. First of all, close your eyes. Second, don't cross your legs because you really kind of block the blood pressure. Sit comfortably. And just breathe, relax for a few seconds to harmonize yourself with energy with the water. And now we're going to just breathe a few times, really deep and slow, and gently hold with both hands glass of water without touching it. So, breathe in, breathe out. Slow as much air you go in, have to go out. 2, breathe in, breathe out. 3, breathe in, breathe out. 4, breathe in, 7. Breathe in and breathe out. 8. Breathe in and breathe out. 9. Breathe in and breathe out. 10. Breathe in, breathe out. 11. Breathe in, breathe out. And 12. Breathe in and breathe out. Still with closed eyes, gently lift your glass towards your lips, but don't take a sip yet. Just feel the coldness of the glass and the touch with your lips. Just the coldness of the glass. And then slowly, slowly, let the water touch your tongue. And take first a sip of water. Feel the coldness. Feel how nourishing it is. How lubricating your entire system. And with a calm your mind, the water pump, pure medicine. Start drinking slowly, as slowly as you can. We drink all this water so fast, without thinking, just in between things, between our phone calls or going from one place to another or sitting at the table and having talks with the friends. But this is the moment here, tonight, to drink this water consciously, calmly, with the best energy you have to put in to this glass of water. Slowly, you feel the coldness, the wetness. Just visualize how it goes to every organ of your body and lubricate and nourish again and again. Slowly finish the glass because we have a limit of time. Otherwise, this glass of water can go for 1 hour minimum. And good news is you can keep your glass and do it the same at home. You know, I have this great joke about performance art. You say, how many performance artists you need to fix the light bulb? And the answer is, I don't know, I was there only 6 hours. So this glass of water should go a long way. Alright, so what I've been doing, I've been working with public art in collaboration to create some kind of video game, some kind of artist answer from my own point of view on these problems with the temperature rising on our planet and the water. So I want to show you just a short video first. I think I was born as an artist. I remember nothing else than waking up in the morning and having ideas. To use this new technology in a different way is really important. How I can take video game, but how I can transform and translate it into something else that actually you can give another message to this whole concept. For an artist, it's the most important to find their medium, how to present it work. I was so lucky that in my career I found performance.
When I put my body in the front of the public, something happened. Something happened which is just different than when I was in studio and painting. It was some kind of electricity which arrived from the public and me, and every single molecule of my body became life. And I could take energy of the public and transform it and give it back to them. And I can push my body limits as far as I can go. I can do things that I never could do in real life. For me, it was very more important to explore the idea of the pain and danger, and to also be there in this present moment. Because performance art is timeless art. It's immaterial form of art. You can't touch it, you can't pin it to the wall. You just can feel it, and the public have to feel that energy. And then I've been introduced to virtual reality. And I understood that the possibilities of virtual reality are enormous. That whatever you can do, and you can't do with your body, you as avatar can actually do endlessly, and can replace you, and you can pass the body limits. And the avatars and VR technology are giving us this possibility to enter into this virtual space without our body. You can be present in so many places at the same time. It is very important that you understand immortality. You know, you're never there forever. Body's aging, and you're losing your energy, and you can't have all these strengths anymore as you had like you was 20, 30, or 40. So I had to face these kind of limits. So for me, to creating avatar and creating something that actually can stay without me being there.
So basically, this is a video game that I have to explain because we are not able to have 1,300 VR glasses here because it's just not possible. Yes, the technology doesn't have so many at the same time. But basically, when you touch my hand in the virtual space, you transport yourself into the middle of the melting snow. And you all personally witnessing the melting with VR glasses. So, what happened here is very simple. It's a video game in which you transport yourself into the melting snow of Antarctica and the South and North Pole. And if you don't do something which is good for this planet, I'm going to die in this water tank because I don't have water anymore and water is rising constantly. The piece is called Rising and have an actual metaphorical meaning. Rising means rising the water itself, which is evident, but also rising consciousness and how we can change something. You know, it's very interesting the relation between scientists and artists. We have two things in common. We have intuition in common, and we have in common gut feeling, that you know you're right when you're going for something or you wanted to prove something. But at the same time, you know that unfortunately scientists have to have proofs, and we don't. But you have to have proofs. You have to work so hard to prove things. Even sometimes proofs are, so clear that actually you know these things as they are, but we don't believe them. I mean, there is a great example of some Dogon tribes in South Africa, which for hundreds of years been worshipping Pluto, the little trans-Pluto satellite around Pluto, but nobody knew at that time there was any Pluto, the satellite, till the big telescopes was found, and they said, oops, there's a Pluto. So then everybody believed. But this is really important that right now that kind of working together is very, very important. So what I am proposing is very simple. It's a very simple pledge that we can all do in our own way, because nobody can change if you don't change yourself. It's so easy to criticize how the politics don't work, how the system doesn't work, how this is wrong or that wrong, but what we are going to do in our own simple way, in our own daily life. I mean, I just proposed 7 actually things to do. Very simple, very practical. Reduce the waste they create. Conserve energy and water, just by ourselves. Because it's so easy to look outside of us and don't see ourselves, that we are doing the same damage like everybody else. Use what I can. Be kind and respectful to all life forms. That's so important, because we always think that we are such a superior as a human race and not see the connection between everything, between us and nature and the plants and this planet. We actually trash so terribly. Just a little story about trashing the planet. I was some years ago, I went to the Ponape. It's a tiny little island in Maldives. And there I went to, just to walk on the beach. And the tourists took all the shells away. And the only shells, there was no shells left. I saw the hermit crabs. It was hiding in the Nivea and the Ambre Solaire and the tops of the protection creams which was left on the beach. And they become their own kind of the home. And they was walking around with different colored tops around. And I got so sad by this situation that I took the boat and went 2 hours to another island, and on the market I bought 2 bags of the shells, and I brought back to the Ponape, and I put everywhere the shells for the hermit crabs to go. Wait, the story is not with good end. So I spent 10 days trying to get this hermit crabs into their shells. They like plastic better, so it's irreversible. We can't change that. Educate young people to go green. And the last one, I think the most important one, is contemplate 3 minutes for the well-being of the earth. And this is something that we have to really think about. If we just think about the earth, and the tiny little blue planet, we're not even in the center of Milky Way. We are in the kind of outskirts. We're like the New Jersey of Milky Way. Who knows where? And we are so tiny, so little, and we are living in paradise, and we trash it so badly. So to contemplate 3 minutes for the well-being earth, you can combine at home with drinking the water with the glass they give to you. So it's all really important. But the last thing I want to say is how it's important that artists, indigenous cultures, who have the story to tell, who have rituals, who are so related to some kind of universal knowledge, and scientists should actually get together and make this big, strong community. It's not just enough one person. It's not just enough. There's something to change. You have to be on the large community scale. It's the only way, because I don't think that we can change things. I don't think that the planet we can save. Honestly, I'm not so full of hope. I only think what we can do is to slow the process, because it's going very fast. And so now, what I'd like to say is the only way, this is my message, to change the world is to change yourself. Thank you.
we asked some of you what water meant to you, and put together a short video with some of your answers.
First, when I saw the small video about the water, I started to think, what is water for me? And first I was thinking about a first drink of water after the sport, and it's really like a present to make opportunity to have a fresh water.
In the current state of the world, when media and news tends to lean negative, and that's, as we were discussing, can garner more clicks and more people are interested in it. I think it's particularly interesting that the experts in the field are coming to us today with hope and inspiration for the future, and thus inspiring us to see that hope and to see what good might come.
I started to reflect on what comes first. Of course, if you have emergent and acute questions like health issues or access issues, I think the science literacy and the scientific aspect of it will become secondary to those immediate issues at hand. But I think if you look at it at the same time and in a holistic way, I think we can solve issues in a different way or approach them in a different way.
As a scientist myself, I would have also wished a little bit more deeper knowledge what we can actually do based on what we actually already know. So I'm always keen on going deeper into the matter.
And for me, I think maybe one of the points that resonated most is I always assumed that water waste had to do with leaving the faucet on at home or taking a shower that's too long. But to learn that actually the vast majority comes from the clothing that we pick or the food that we buy, it really kind of shifts your perspective. And that seems to be what the goal of an event like this is. So that's super interesting too.
Thank you all. I guess Marina Abramovich just told us what we can do. She beautifully made the connection between water and our bodies. And we're going to continue that connection now with a panel, this time involving Peter Agre and Randy Sheckman, and moderated by Julene Zirath. So may I welcome them all on stage. Thank you.
So as Adam has introduced, we're here to discuss the importance of water, and over the course of the day I think we've heard a bit about how water is important for our planet and how water is important in our solar system and chemically. And I think you all experienced firsthand the physiological sensation of drinking a glass of water. But why is water important for our bodies? And so we have two experts, two Nobel laureates, who spent a good deal of their life studying the cell physiology of vesicle traffic and aquaporins. And so I wanted to ask the two of you to join me in a dialogue about the importance of water in our body. So Randy, why do our cells need water?
Water has unique chemical and physical properties that make it such an invaluable solvent for all of the macromolecules that constitute our cell. Its unique architecture and electronic configuration, with oxygen sharing electrons with the hydrogen atom, where the electrons tend to locate closer to the oxygen atom, impart a slight electronegative charge quality to the oxygen and a positive charge to the hydrogen, which allows a water molecule to form critical so-called hydrogen bonds within the structure of water itself, but in respect to our cells, surrounding biological molecules, where hydrogen bonds are critical for the stability of protein molecules in the cell and for the nucleic acids in our chromosomes, which form hydrogen bonds as the basis for the creation of the hereditary material. So water has a unique role, not only in the stabilization and formation of these molecules. It is a critical catalyst that participates in enzyme reactions. And it allows organelles within the cell to maintain a slightly different balance of the constituents of water. For instance, water, which you know is has a characteristic high concentration, is 55 molar, for those of you familiar with the term, but it's ionized at a very low level in just pure water with a concentration of hydrogen at 10 to the minus 7th molar, and hydroxyl groups at a concentration of also 10 to the minus 7th. And a change in the balance of those two is what creates pH differences. The cell exploits those pH differences to create different compartments within the cell. The cytoplasm, which is approximately pH 7.4, but an organelle within the cell that is specialized for the destruction of macromolecules called the lysosome has a very special low pH, a high concentration of hydrogen atoms or protons that creates an environment that is conducive for hydrolytic enzyme activities. So all of these things are critically influenced by the water in our cells.
Sometimes I think it's a miracle that we just don't explode. So how do our bodies cope with water balance?
Well, Randy really eloquently described the importance of water within the cell. I'd like to just review potty training 101. Our kidneys are designed to clear wastes, maintain a proper blood pH, and water concentration. And this physiological process of releasing dilute urine under some circumstances or concentrated urine under others is one of the first physiological processes that mankind ever recognized. The Plains Indians in North America would wage war raids in the middle of the night with no method of measuring time. The warriors would simply drink a large volume of water at sundown, awaken 2 or 3 hours later to empty their bladders and go to town. Every Friday afternoon at Johns Hopkins, the graduate students have a little party referred to as TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And you know the favorite beverage consumed is beer.
Not water?
So just imagine this, a graduate student drinks a half a liter of beer, or maybe a liter of beer. Where's the first place he goes afterwards? Not the laboratory, it's the lavatory. Alcohol has inhibited the release of vasopressin, the neurohormone, which sends a signal to our kidneys to concentrate water in some surfaces, but the alcohol will cause release large volume of dilute urine. Same individual the next day, playing tennis in the hot sun, underhydrated, now the vasopressin is released and causes the kidneys to concentrate. So we go between these two states. And anybody who's been on an economy class airliner with a full bladder, and the seatbelt light goes on, this is important.
So, you know, I've always learned as an environmental physiologist that by the time we recognize that we're dehydrated, we're already really dehydrated. Is that true? Is there a bit of a mismatch? Are we underhydrated for performing work?
It's certainly possible. And as we get older, our ability to sense thirst is less precise. Our abilities to sweat are reduced. Our abilities to concentrate urine also somewhat impaired. These are all aquaporin processes. So there are some consequences. When we're exposed to environmental stress, it can be life or death.
The water channel, which Peter's lab discovered, is critical for maintaining flow of water across membranes. Membranes are, to a low extent, permeable to water, surprisingly, even though membranes that surround cells are hydrophobic. Water's special properties allow it to permeate to a low extent through membranes. But the channels, the aquaporin channels, are critical. And as you alluded to, vasopressin influences the itinerary of that water channel in the cell. Cells maintain channels on the outer membrane of the cell, but they also have an internal reservoir of membranes that channels like the aquaporin channel can be held in. And that balance of traffic of the channel from the perimeter of the cell into the reservoir and back is critical for water flow across the cell. There are hormones, like you said, that control, promote a covalent change in the water channel, the attachment of a phosphate group on the water channel that influence its itinerary, and that affects certain disease processes. For instance, in cholera, the cholera toxin influences the state of phosphorylation, the attachment of phosphate to the water channel, and in patients who succumb to cholera intoxication, one of the first and most dramatic pathological consequences is the dramatic loss of water because the water channel is retained and water flows out of the body at an alarming and uncontrolled rate. So water flow and its control is intimately tied to the membranes within cells.
Right, Randy. And our small intestine can release liters of urine, yet our large intestine is limited in how much water we can reabsorb. So people with cholera, and this is a problem in many underdeveloped parts of the world. In Yemen right now, where there's famine, there's also a huge cholera epidemic. This will kill thousands of people. And the ability to overcome that, we're limited. It can orally rehydrate people to a certain degree, but if the amount of fluid loss is beyond that, they'll succumb. Even in this late date in medical history, this ancient killer is still out there.
And yet there's simple remedies to that would be available.
Clean water.
Yeah, clean water. I mean, just the simple salt solution will also retard the rate of water loss in such patients.
Yes, the villagers in Bangladesh recognized that early on. A little bit of salt in the water will increase the rate of reabsorption and can orally rehydrate people and save their lives.
A little bit. I know you're going to talk in the next session about malaria, but that's actually important as well for your work with malaria in terms of the aquaporins, so that you're using your basic science to kind of treat disease. And you gave the examples here. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I grew up in an interesting family. My dad was a chemistry professor, very big on science and technology. My mother was a farm girl who went to university and always emphasized the importance of using our talents for the well-being of others. So I think medicine was a logical career because it merges both of those things. And as much joy as our laboratory got from a basic discovery, the urge was to immediately look for places where I can explain disease or maybe even prevent or treat disease. So our entry into the water channel field was a sheer accident. We were studying the rhesus blood group damage on red cells, and our preparations were contaminated with another molecule, which we had not a clue to its function. It turns out that's aquaporin 1. So the answer to how we discovered the aquaporins, I'd like to think that maybe they discovered us.
Sometimes it works that way. Hydration state of cells. How important is that just for vesicle trafficking? I mean, your whole life has been really studying how cargoes moved around cells.
But as I started to say earlier, the compartments within cells are generally barriers created by membranes that consist of lipids that are an insulating layer that by themselves preclude the passing back and forth of charged ions like sodium or chloride. So membranes, in order to allow communication between the cytoplasm and the outside of the cell or within a compartment of the cell, include channels, not only the water channel, but other channels that allow molecules, small ions to penetrate. In the last 15 years or so, new compartments have emerged which have quite interesting properties that are not bounded by membranes, but represent distinct soluble phases in the cytoplasm of cells that consist of protein molecules that are very often not folded in a tight three-dimensional structure. Instead, they have what are referred to as low complexity domains, sequences that allow the protein to be much more flexible. These protein molecules exist in the cytoplasm and can form a separate phase where the proteins interact with one another to some extent to the exclusion of water, and they often include RNA molecules, so they're granules, they're cytoplasmic granules that have RNA and protein. It's interesting to consider how that may have actually been the precursor of the cell. These granules don't require membrane, and yet they are separate, and they can form and break in contact with the cell, and they may have even they may have existed before the evolutionary origin of the cell.
Do you see this in all different species? I mean, you see this in yeast,
Absolutely.
do you see this in bacteria?
It's in all living organisms, from bacteria to archaea to eukaryotes. These granules or separate phases exist in the cytoplasm, they exist in the nucleus. They are a relatively new organizing principle that is, I think, one of the more exciting developments in biology in recent years.
So if we go from cells back to humans, and we are all cells, a collection of cells, but if we take it to the whole body perspective, the emphasis on water, is that underappreciated in society or overappreciated? We've had a great day talking about the importance of water in our lives, but from a human health perspective, do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, when we have free access to pure drinking water, we take it for granted. And in human evolution, that was not always the case. So our kidneys have evolved so that we can maximally meet the proper body water content. The molecules that Randy was describing don't just float freely in water. They're packed in pretty tightly. The typical diagram of a cell, an open body with a nucleus, and maybe the Golgi and ER, the mitochondria, underrepresents the need to pack water pretty tightly. Red cells, for example, are filled with hemoglobin. That's the major component of the red cells. And if you look at red cells from all different species, compare a Gila monster or alligator to a human, their red cells have different shapes, different sizes, vastly different, but the hemoglobin concentration is precisely the same. It's obvious that the water content determines that. And humans may bear the mutations for sickle cell anemia. Turns out the propensity of the sickle hemoglobin to polymerize is equated to the logarithmic concentration of water to the 32nd power. 1% increase in concentration will lead to an enormous propensity for sickle cells to have the sickling phenomenon. So I think these proteins are dependent on proper water in most instances.
It's a pretty fine-tuned machine we have.
Yes.
Could even affect the ability of molecules to form collections outside of the cell, such as amyloid in Alzheimer's disease. The formation of amyloid requires hydrogen bonds between proteins that are going to aggregate, and that obviously is influenced by water. Earlier in the panel discussion on where life may originate elsewhere in the universe, it was clear as I prepared for that session how important water was in the first evolution of life on this earth. Water appeared on the earth maybe as much as 4 billion years ago, but yet the evidence for the emergence of non-oxygen dependent photosynthetic organisms suggests that they may have followed very quickly within 200 million years of the first appearance of water on the earth. So that's how critical water has been for us, and I suspect it will be equally critical if we eventually discover life outside in other solar systems and elsewhere in the universe.
So if there's life outside, do the cells have water channels of the same structure that we have? I'd like to know that.
That's sort of leading to what I wanted to ask you guys about what's on the horizon, and I think that answers one of those questions. What do you think's on the horizon for us?
Well, in terms of water, or understanding the organization of the cytoplasm.
That's where your niche is, yeah.
Well, it's not just the water channel. There are other channels that whose distribution within the cell influences cell physiology. One of the classic examples, similar to aquaporin, is a channel for glucose that's found in cells that respond to the hormone insulin. So there's a channel, a glucose channel molecule. It's held in a reservoir in the cytoplasm of the cell. And when cells first respond to insulin, and there's a breakdown of the storage form of sugar-bound glucose molecules, the reservoir of glucose channels held in a membrane is mobilized to the cell surface. They merge and display many more such channels to allow glucose molecules to be taken up.
The channels will be important for all of our biology.
Yeah.
So it hasn't escaped my notice that the two of you hail from the great state of Minnesota, and you've been brought up next to the Mississippi. And I think even you have a hero in, is it Huck Finn? Is that correct?
Well, yes, sort of a challenge.
So with that, I think you're, had an influence of water throughout your whole lives and careers. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and insights about the importance of water for our bodies. Thank you, Jim.